Hi guys, Billy back, and this time I'm going to be looking at this Spider-Man stealth suit from Spider-Man Far From Home. And I can tell you this is a very nice box actually. It's got Spider-Man stealth suit on the front, Hot Toys logo, movie masterpiece. The design is Mysterio on the front here with his sort of globe head just there. There's this sort of rainbow pearlescent sort of window to it. There's fogging all the way around the bottom, and inside you can see the Spider-Man stealth suit. On the side, just Spider-Man stealth suit. On the back, we've got all the warnings, nothing else, Marvel logo. And has a very nice slip sleeve. Push this down, slide it out. The inside box has a picture of the stealth suit itself. Nice artwork, I actually really like that, and even like all that typeface down the bottom here. It's got a sort of spot gloss texture over the top of it. Then on the side, we've got the Spider-Man logo. On the back, we've got all the cast and crew. Come on, Lemon Poon, where are no Lemon Poon again. But I do like that sort of Mysterio sort of illusion effect on the back. Logo up the top, better logo on the bottom. And it's got a magnetized front. You can open it up, and inside we can see more of the artwork on this side. And then you've just got the window to show the figure off, which I've already taken out of the box. So let's have a look at the figure. Okay, so I've got everything out of the packaging, and I have to say, for the price I paid, I think you get quite a few accessories. Now, a lot of them are a bit cut and paste, especially with the webs. We've seen these a million times before, but that's not, you know, a deal breaker, simply because if this is someone's first Spider-Man, they'll always want to get some webs. You get the funnel web, which comes with absolutely every single Spider-Man you've ever seen, but I think this is a newer one. And this is part, I think it came with Scarlet Spider. And I think they're starting to add a few more bits and bobs to certain releases just to make it a bit more interesting. And this one I think comes with this hand here. And if we slot it in, it just goes on like that. And then up the bottom. And then when he's swinging around, it looks like he's got a big handful of web. And it's sort of just swinging through the air. And this is just sort of flapping in the wind while he moves, which is a really cool looking effect. I think it works really well with Spider-Man, but I'm not probably going to be using much of the webbing, if any at all. And I can honestly say I have a little bit of buyer's remorse, not a massive amount, because I got this on kghobby.com and they had a sale and they were selling off a few of their Marvel figures, and this guy I got for I think $130 all in. I think with £17 shipping on top, and I have to say that's a great price. It's the right price in my own opinion for these figures. We shouldn't be paying more than that, but as it is, you know, they're cool, they're hot property, they're in demand. The prices go up when anything's very popular, and Hot Toys are very popular. But as it is, this guy is fantastic for the price, and my only regret is that I didn't buy the deluxe version with that stand, mostly because I don't have the space, but also because I wasn't sure if I was going to pick this one up. I was going to be a little bit more selective with my figure purchases, and this guy was originally a pre-order for me, but I cancelled all my pre-orders before, and I'm just going through and slowly selecting little bits and bobs that I really want here and there. And because the Marvel figures are on sale in a lot of places in Hong Kong at the moment, it's probably the best time to pick a few pieces up, especially this guy. But as it is, he comes with a load of hands, including web thripping hands, wall crawling hands, some just sort of action expressive hands, and fisted hands that he's got there. I think these two separate, yeah, you can left and right, you can grip that web with. So he's got, you know, he's got enough hands for you. He also comes with an extra eyepiece here to put on his head, which is magnetic, and that comes off just like so, nice and easy. And then you can plonk this one on like that, and then you can see that's him with the mask down. Now this one actually has like a hinge on there, and I tried to put it up as high as I could, but it feels a little loose near the top, just like that. So yeah, that is a bit of a shame. But then what you can do is you can take these eyepieces off. Got to be very, very slow and careful with it. Oh, actually, you can't take them off with this one. It's this one that you take them off of. You can see there is like little port pegs back in here, and then you can just sort of lightly lift these out like that and then swap them for one of these ones. And he can have more expressive eyes, and he's got slightly squinted ones, wide open ones, and sort of middling closed ones as well. So he comes with some decent eye expressive pieces that will get you some sort of animation with this guy. And I have to be honest, that's where some of this is let down with most Spider-Men. The posing can be a little awkward because of the suit. There is slight damage that you can do to these figures if you're not very careful. So just be careful when you're posing them about. Do lots of futzing, sort of micro movements, so that you're moving the fabric in the right way, so it's not getting caught up in the hinges and getting caught up in the armpits and things like that. Make sure that these pieces don't dig into the hips and start tearing at the material. He also comes with an extra neck peg, and this is a flesh tone one that if you take this neck peg out and this head off, you can put this neck peg in and then use a Tom Holland head sculpt to pose in this guy. I don't have one, so there's no point in me doing it because it's just a bit of a waste of time, but it is there if you do have other Spider-Men and you want to pose your Tom Holland head sculpt on there. He also comes with some extra wrist pegs just over there, and he comes with this really cool stand. It's got Spider-Man stealth suit there. It's got a little bit of a quite a quirky sort of Mysterio design on there, Spider-Man Far From Home. Looks very nice. Still that Age of Ultron shaped base that they come with, not the hexagonal. I don't know why. Probably would have been better if it did come with the hexagonal sort of base, but however, while it is a nice base, it's got a metal flight pole on there, and this clamp can actually go up and down the pole pretty easily. I was worried that it wouldn't, but it's got a sort of like a easy movement but enough grip that wherever you put it, it will sit there and it's not going to damage the plastic coating on the outside of the pole. But if we zoom in a little bit, let's just get forward and have a look at that head sculpt. I actually really like this head sculpt. It looks really good. You can see all the light reflecting in the eyes there. That's very cool. One of the only problems I've got is I'm a little bit critical of the fact that they've sculpted the goggles into the head sculpt itself. I would have preferred it if we'd had like separate goggles. You could pop that off and then you could just have like him without these on. I know it would have been difficult and the chances are it wouldn't have fitted properly, etc. And that's why we buy 1/6 scale sometimes. Those tiny little like accessories and details that they put into these things. It's nicely sculpted. It's very well made. You can see that it does look like fabric on that balaclava, even though it is just sculpted plastic. But yeah, me personally, I would have liked it to be, you know, detachable. That would have been like the ultimate 6 scale stealth suit Spider-Man. But however, you can't have everything. You can then detach and change the eyes. If you push it in properly, they kind of jut out a little bit as well, but not as much. But it's fractional, to be honest. And then come down, we can see in the suit all this sort of lovely sort of armour they've put on here. It's sculpted, but it's actually stuck on there, and it's still quite flexible. You see all these little straps going over the shoulders. These shoulder pieces are separate. I do like that, so you can move them up and down. So once you're actually futzing with this, you can then fit these back down onto the suit suitably, which I like. Come down into the torso, we can see there's all that printing on there, which can cause problems, especially when you're like doing extreme poses. All of this can sort of bend and warp and possibly stick together. You have to be careful with that, although it doesn't feel very sticky. So this could be a very different kind of screen printing on top of this, which I like. But then he's got like this sort of flexible lycra underneath. He's got his web shooters on, and you come down. The armor plating goes down into the suit, but they are stuck on there. They're not sort of, they look like they're actually attached because they've stuck straps on, but this is just literally printed onto the suit, and then the straps are added for extra effect, which is nice. But I don't know, there's a part of me that always likes it when the armor comes separate and you can move it around and futz it to how you want, because if these knee pads were separate, you could then move them around as you see fit with the pose, which would have worked nicer. But then the boots I like this sort of 3-split sort of version they've got there, because there's articulation up here, there's articulation down here, and he's got lots of ankle pivot, which is really nice. And he does have toe articulation as well. I do like that, and it seems to, it's like, this is flexible. This is like a rubbery flex sort of material. So when you bend it, you can see that it does actually bend with the toes. You want to be careful though. I think I saw a video where they snapped this off, so be very careful. Don't go around extreme posing him and just pulling it and messing around with it. On the back here we can see all the armor plating behind here. That's so nice. I do like that. It's a shame it's not a little bit more weathered. You know, tiny little bit of dry brushing on the edges would have made this look a bit more material, made it look a bit more realistic, and you know, look like it had been used already. But if this is like him brand new in the suit, then you can see why they didn't bother actually putting all the weathering on here. But yeah, back in the day, Hot Toys would have definitely dry brushed these sort of panel areas and these clips and everything to make him look a little bit more used and realistic. Okay, so here's just a semi-extreme pose that you can get him into. Now, I've not been super stressful with the suit. I've just bent the legs a little bit, pulled the torso back a little bit, moved the head, lifted the arms up, and that's about it. And I can say from certain angles he looks great, and other angles not so much, but you know, it is what it is. And I have to say, I really, really like this figure. I'm still like, as I turn him in now, I can see the sort of realism in the eyes, especially when they're looking off to the side a little bit. It gives him a little bit more life. And I have to say, my only regret now after buying this figure is not buying the deluxe version with the stand, because that would have looked fantastic. It would be nice if Hot Toys, say, released the stand separately like they did with the drones, but I don't think that's going to happen. And yeah, I'm eating a bit of humble pie now, because I thought I would just be happy with the figure on its own. But after seeing it in hand, moving it around, posing him, playing with him, I just think that base would just add an extra 10 to 20% more quality to this overall figure. And for the price that he's going for at the moment, it would be definitely worth it. So yeah, biggest regret is that I did not buy the deluxe version. So if you are still on the fence about this, and I've managed to convince you to get it, get the deluxe. I promise you, you will not regret it, because he's great on his own. And with that base, it's only going to add to the quality of the figure overall. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, slag me off in the comments. If you could do me a favour now, if you can get the fuck out of my cave, I'm going to put this guy next to Concept Art Cap and start making myself a stealth team. Bye bye.